greetings. Welcome back to my channel, Ashaki Ali, the Divine Soul Sister. And I wanted to speak about being adaptable, how being adaptable will help you. So this morning, Spirit had me share a little snippet about how change is a friend and how we should embrace change. And part of being able to embrace change is understanding and learning and cultivating a practice of being adaptable. Now, I'm not an astrologer by any means. I hope my head doesn't bump my plant too much up here. I'm not an astrologer by any means, but I do study the basic characteristics of signs in relation to, full moon energy as well as myself, because the greatest thing that you can learn is yourself and why you've made certain decisions, why you have certain, hold certain traits about yourself, because it's going to help you more to lean towards self-mastery. The only way you can master yourself is you have to fully know yourself. So for me, when I did my natal chart, there's a lot of Piscean energy in my natal chart. That's my sun sign. That's my Mars sign. That's my Venus sign. I'm a Cancer moon. But being so full of water, and I didn't even realize how important or potent water was in my life until, it's always been, and this is getting off subject a little bit, but it's going to further explain adaptability. So I've always loved the water. The beach is my absolute favorite place to be in this world. If I could sleep in water, I probably would. I remember being a little girl putting on bathing suits and filling up the bathtub to submerge myself in water all the time and taking spiritual baths as a part of my life. And we'll talk about spiritual baths again. I think I've already delved into that on this channel. But nevertheless, earlier this year, I received a divination. Now, I study Ifa. I'm not a priestess or anything such as this. Who knows what is to come in the future for me on this particular path. But Ifa is the African traditional religion or spiritual system that I incline towards. However, I have connection to voodoo as well. Nevertheless, during the divination, I learned that Yemaya rules my head. And if you know who Yemaya or Yemoja, she has a few different names. She is the mother of the ocean. She's the mother of fishes. She's the mother of witches. She rules the waters. And so that just made so much sense as to why I'm so inclined towards water. In Ifa, it's been my teaching and during study that whomever rules your head, you embody those characteristics, so to speak, and you should ascribe or try. Our goal is to become that Orisha here on the earth. Now, I could be wrong, and this is not to offend. It's just stating the water aspect of me as a person. Now, it's very easy for me to be very adaptable because that comes very naturally to me. Pisces is a mutable sign, an adaptable sign. I am a child of water. And as you know, water will conform to whatever shape or container you place it within. If you put water into a round bowl, it's going to take on that form. If you place it into a square bowl, it's going to take it into that form. Water runs through places that other things are not able to reach. Water can be rushing, but it can also be still. Water can be drips or it can be gushes. It's ever changing. And that is how I live. And that is a great part of my personality. On the flip side of that, it's very difficult for me to, I would say, be in situations where I don't have any flexibility and no fluidity, and it's the same old thing. It gets very old to me, which is why I'm pursuing the path that I am, freeing myself from working for other people, because I have to have adaptability in my life. Now, how can being adaptable help you And this is not just speaking from a spiritual aspect. This is speaking from every aspect, whether you're looking at your career, whether you're looking at your relationships, whatever. Being adaptable should be viewed as a superpower. Number one, being adaptable will allow you to have more confidence. How you probably wonder, like, how is that? Being able to change up, how is that? Well, for one, when you're confronted with problems and issues, things that's going to happen. Undoubtedly, you're going to be in a situation where something just doesn't go well. If you're in a relationship, maybe you and your significant other are not seeing eye to eye. Your communications between each other are strained, and you feel like just saying, you know what, I'm done with this. But if you learn to be adaptable, you can adapt your language so that your spouse or your significant other or whomever can understand what you are talking about. And it won't be a challenge. It'll just be another thing you do to get that point across, if that's what needs to be, so that those gates of communication remain open. Being adaptable will allow your creativity to flow. And the reason being, or it's going to strengthen your creativity, because you're constantly problem solving when you're an adaptable person. You don't see or view problems and issues as problems and issues. It's just another challenge for you or another problem that you can find a solution to, typically a very creative solution. Even in your workspace, if one thing is not working, people that's adaptable will find something else to do that will allow that problem or issue not to be as time consuming and stressful. And I wrote down a couple things. Let me grab my notebook real quick. Oh, I couldn't get that thought to my mind. Is being adaptable will also allow you to not be the pity party type, meaning that you're not going to be wallowing in all the things that are going wrong in your life. You're going to be more or less looking at these things that have happened as lessons, and you'll take what you need from that lesson and continue to move forward. People that's adaptable, they don't remain stagnant in any format. Whether it's, if they're in a job they don't like, they're going to start looking for something else, or they're going to create a business. They're going to do something to free themselves from that situation. Or they're going to look for what is working well within that job situation until they're able to move on. If they're in a relationship and there are constantly obstacles, maybe it's just time to, cut your losses and move. And a adaptable person will do that. They're going to say, you know what, I've done everything I can do with this situation. We've worked at this, no hard feelings, but we need to just cut our losses. It's time for me to move on. They move on very quickly, typically. People that's adaptable, when day-to-day problems, say your car broke down, they're not going to be by the side of the road crying. They're going to call roadside assistance if that's what it is. If they don't have roadside, they'll figure out something in the meantime, in the interim, if they don't have the money to get the car repaired at that particular time. Whatever the issue is, being adaptable is going to allow you to do just what it says. You're going to adapt. You're going to be able to move forward really quickly. Now, from a spiritual aspect, being adaptable is something I feel should be cherished in the spiritual community. Some people they wear their spirituality as a badge, and they make it to the point that if someone isn't doing what they're doing, then they must be wrong. But in my opinion, your spiritual journey is individual. Nobody's journey should look exactly like anyone else's. There are people that admire certain things about me, and I admire things about them. But at the end of the day, what worked for her may not work for me. What worked for him may not work for me, and vice versa. So I can show you and tell you all day what I have done. But unless you tailor that to your own life, or someone tries to assist you to tailor it to your own life and to your personality and your journey, it's not going to do you any good. That's another reason why some people are not progressing in the manner that they wish, is because they're too busy trying to emulate other people. They got their eyes over here instead of inward. So, a good rule of thumb is embrace change as a friend, number one. Number two, and I'm taking these off the top of my head as I receive the information, but do not feel fixed or settled in any aspect of your life. Never say never about anything. Just don't say it. You may never, skydive. You may never, or maybe you will later in your life. Maybe you get, God forbid, this is not putting this energy out to anyone, but maybe you you get to a point in your life where you want to just experience all these different things. You start marking things off your bucket list. Or maybe someone challenges you and you do something that you thought you would have never done. So never say never. And never feel like anything is set in stone. And I'm going to preface this with another personal story. I'm the queen of stories. I am the griot of my family and even my online family. I have so many. I remember a time when I was a youth. And I said, I would never have two children in Pampers or diapers at the same time. And I'm smiling because it's hilarious. For people that know me, maybe you don't if you're new on this channel, I have 6 children that I gave birth to. They range in age from 21 to 7. My oldest son is much older than the next. So he's 21 and the next one after him is 14 years old. So there's a big gap there. But then after that, there is 16 months between him and my oldest daughter. 21 months after that, I had another daughter. Like 22, 23 months after that, I had a son. And then, so I ended up literally at one point, I think 3 of my children, maybe two was in pull-ups and 1 was in diapers. So never say never and never feel like anything is concrete. Yes, we can affirm certain things that we want in our life, but we need to learn to go with the flow more, literally. So if you're a person and your sign is, now air signs don't have any problem with, they're kind of flighty. Now this is not, but they're flying, they're able to go with the air. But more earth-driven signs, they're very grounded. But in your groundedness, make sure that you understand that even earth can be moved. Not the physical earth in which we live, but earth can literally be excavated and moved. And so can you. I hope this message has made you have a different thought about yourself and the way that you conduct your life. You know what I'm saying? Because change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. And change can either cause you heartburn or it can fill your heart. One or two things. You're either going to allow these challenges and changes to grow you or break you. But it's all up to you what you choose to do with that information and how you're going to flow. So just learn to go with the flow. This has been Ashaki, your Divine Soul Sister. I hope you've enjoyed this video. For all my new subscribers, I thank you so much for being here. Make sure if you're not a subscriber, but you are feeling the information that as I share, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell. It's been my intention to make sure the videos are posted every Thursday. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but rest assured, once a week, you're going to get a video from me. You guys take care, and I'll holler at you all soon. Peace.